mad at me. He's mad. He's all over me.
Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today I'm breaking down Libra, the creature of the night, better known as the Equilibrious beast. I'll show you what to bring, how to read every attack, and most importantly, the one move you must pull off mid-fight, miss it, and you'll make the boss infinitely harder. Let's dive in. For pre-game gear and characters, I would recommend having a relic that increases madness resistance. The boss does a lot of damage that you can mitigate mid-fight, however this gives you more time to maneuver without getting madness to proc. For characters, I would personally bring at least a Raider and an Iron Eye, for their ults are the most useful here, which we will talk about during the meditation phase. Your third character can be more flexible. We had a Wilder, but you can have a Revenant for the summons, or if people go down, it's really up to you. Now the boss is weak to madness, but as some of you have guessed, there are very few madness weapons aside from incantations, and some of those incantations have a long casting time, so if you have more of a melee build or are concerned about the casting speed, Fire and Bleed are good options here as well. Beginning of the fight, he will not attack but offer you a deal. The deal will provide you with some buff, but it will come at a cost. I will have the list of deals here on the screen so you can pause the video and decide. However, I would personally not recommend any of the deals, especially if you have random teammates that you cannot communicate with. The deal might be good for you, but not for them. For example, if you grab I want the power of a demon, you might have a high madness bar and be okay with that cost, but your teammates might not. If you are working with a full team and have communication, then by all means go for it. Just make sure everyone knows what the deals are in play. But as you can see here, we refuse the deals, he will call us foolish, and the fight will begin. I will now go over the list of attacks with on-screen examples. The key here is to watch his hand gestures. I've seen a lot of tutorials not talk about this. This is imperative, and I will explain why as I go over the attacks. Also, do not be afraid to get up close, especially if you have a strength-based character. He has low poise and can be easily stunned. Okay, I'm going to go over the attacks kind of in the order that they happened in our game, but of course you can get any type of order. This is an Elden Ring boss fight after all. So this first one here is a teleport, is just as you would expect, he teleports. He points and then he will slam his staff, creating a small delayed explosion. Whoever he teleports to needs to roll out of the way of this. This next one is a nasty one, I call it the active mine. So he's going to create this yellow orb in his hand and then crush it. This is going to spawn yellow sigils on the ground around all the players that will blow up a second later. This is why you must look at his hands during the fight. If you are attacking during the end of the hand gesture, you probably will not have enough time to complete your attack, then roll away in time. Here is an example of just that. I didn't see his hand and I was spamming my basic attack, so I could not roll in time. Next attack is a staff swing and slam. So this is kind of the standard attack that he's going to do that's not part of his magic routine. So he's going to slam his staff to the ground. He will simply raise his staff up right before he slams it down. Sometimes he combos this, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he just repeats the same move. Pretty simple here. And then same thing with the swing. He'll bring the staff back and then pretty standard dodge here. Okay, so this is kind of the dormant mine. It's a little bit like the active mine, but I call it the dormant mine because he will leave dormant sigils on the ground and then activate them later. It seems that whenever he performs another attack, like magic attack, either teleport or spawns his machine gun, that triggers the dormant mines in the area. But to be on the safe side, I would just avoid those dormant mines entirely. So the next one is the rotating golden glyphs. He spawns these rotating Doctor Strange glyphs that will constantly fire projectiles. His hand gesture is kind of more like the active mine like we talked about. However, you can see it's more orange and kind of more liquidy in his hand. He also doesn't crush it in his hand, he kind of throws it forward, so that's how you can kind of tell the difference. You can either sprint to the side or spam rolling like I do here. Alright, here's the big one. This is the Madness Meditation. This is what I talked about at the beginning of the video that you need to do. You need to break this meditation. If you do not, he will get damage mitigation and all his attacks get buffed, with more AoE and more effects. They are practically new attacks at this point, and he will make the fight infinitely harder. Now, if you miss one meditation, eventually he will go into a madness ritual where he will lose all those buffs. So if you can survive till then, you're golden. But it really is imperative that you break all meditations. Let me explain how you can do this every time. The first one is pretty easy. You can just break the sigils around him. There are not that many. However, every time he goes back into meditation, there will be more and more sigils that appear. that you would need to break. Don't worry about the sigils at this point. This time use your ult to break the meditation bubble in the middle where he's sitting. This is why I suggest you bring a Raider or an Iron Eye, as both characters excel at breaking the meditation shield. You will have to do this a couple times. I think in our game we had to do it like 5 or 6 times. If no one has their ult handy, I would suggest everyone dogpile on his shield to break it. You can see that the Raider was able to break it with a high damage output weapon. I keep seeing memes on TikTok and X that show how crazy the fight can get, and in all those videos I can tell they didn't break the meditation state because he has this armor symbol at the bottom by his health bar, and he's glowing yellow. Let me just show you the attack pattern that you will get if you don't break the meditation.
Dodge. Not the stupid gold machine gun. Don't like that. Let me see what I can do for the motherfucker.
This has too much. It's just like, I dodge one thing and then he's got something else that I fall into, and it's like, ugh.
You sounded really thrilled.
Yeah.
To learn that.
This dude's laughing at us.
This guy's beaming at us, not mine.
Dude, I get...
Yes, this is absolutely ridiculous. So save yourself the headache and make sure he doesn't complete the meditation.
Right.
So I'm going to talk about the next attack, but this only applies if you don't break the meditation. And that is the Madness Ritual. So Libra sits, and then he's going to hit his weapon on the ground, building up madness in a large area. You can run around and pick up the yellow orbs on the ground to lower this madness, and then at the very end of the ritual, he will lose the damage mitigation, and he will stop glowing yellow, and all those attacks will go back to the normal attacks that he does, instead of being super buffed. Again, this is not something you have to worry about if you break his meditation state every time. However, if you do break his meditation state, then he will go into what I call the goat frenzy. It's better than the state he is if he completes a meditation. However, it can get a little crazy. So as you can see here, we break the meditation and he goes into this frenzied state. So it's indicated by kind of a white mist emanating around him. And now he's going to have some new attacks. This one is the ground explosion. Libra slams to the ground, causing an explosion after he lands. Now, contrary to TikTok, I have seen him do this up to 3 times in a row. Not 40, but just keep an eye after the third one just in case I'm wrong. This then leads into the ground pull move. Libra will pull on the ground and the whole area will kind of explode with this yellow madness goop. Just avoid the yellow lines. There's spaces in between that are safe. He also sometimes kind of does this in like a wave that you can kind of just dodge out of it. You might be able to dodge into it, but I haven't tried this. This I call the Madness Grenade. Libra will walk over to you with a ball of light and slam it down on the ground. Don't roll too early here or you'll be caught in the blast. This one is the Goat Ram, so Libra can charge and ram players with his head. He will indicate this by shaking his head. As soon as he completes the head shake, he will practically teleport to you. He moves so fast. So when you dodge is kind of based on your distance, but you kind of want to dodge just as he starts to charge forward. I'm going to play the clip in full speed here. I end up getting the ram twice at 2 different ranges, so you can kind of see my timing. So this next one is the Frenzied Sky. So Libra summons a sky of madness that collapses on the players. I believe you can dodge this if you're too close, but I was playing Iron Eye, so I was always normally out of range of this. But correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. This one I guess I call the Madness Pyramid. Not sure why, but Libra can throw this golden orb that will spread around him that then will explode like this. The golden orb will stay in the air and then launch them again, this time in a wider arc. Important to note that during the second time it sends out the flares, he can be doing a different attack at the same time, so be mindful of that. Like right here, I was not paying attention and he hit me with the active mine. Again, you're gonna get sick and tired of how many times I mention this, but if you don't break the meditation, this particular attack becomes ridiculous. He spawns 4 instead of just 1, and they all send out flares and cover the entire ground full of these explosions. It's just an absolute nightmare. Getting to his final attack, this is actually kind of categorized during his Goat Frenzied phase, is he'll do a Frenzy Berserk mode. He does this combination of swipes and rams. You can tell here I kind of just panicked because I'd never seen it before and I started rolling. Kind of worked out in the end, but a lot of stuff is just basic slams and easy telegraphing that he does. Just keep a level head and you should be okay here. But that's basically it. Now, there really isn't like a phase 1 and a phase 2. I would say that there is a phase 1 before meditation, and then there is a phase after meditation. And I would say that it splits off into 2 different phases that you can get throughout the fight. You can get a break meditation phase, which is the goat frenzy, or if you fail to break the meditation, then he gets a fully meditated goat phase and all his attacks get buffed. But that's all his attacks, and that's all the tips that I can give you for this video. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments, and I will be sure to add any attacks that I missed in the description, or I will pin the comment so that people know. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Let's go, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro.